Hello friends, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, I'm Megan, and here we talk about all things books, writing, grammar, and more. If you're looking for a way to support my channel, I would love it if you guys subscribe, and make sure to ring that bell so you guys get notifications every time I upload a new video. I post every Tuesday with the possibility of bonus videos on Fridays. Let's talk about something all authors want to avoid, and that's having readers DNF or not finish your novel. Now, I'm someone who generally finishes a novel when I pick it up, but there are definitely things that will turn me away from a novel and make me not finish it. And I know some of my top reasons for DNFing a novel are the same as so many readers out there. So let's dive into those things so you can fix your novel to be a page turner and not something someone wants to DNF. Number 1, nothing is happening for a lot of chapters. While you can keep the inciting incident close to your chest for a chapter or two, having nothing but monotony for chapter after chapter and just having setup is so boring. What you're doing is info dumping to the reader all of the backstory and setup and not giving them anything that actually makes them want to continue reading the story. You've taken away all the action, all the tension, all the emotion out of your story. No one wants to pick up a fantasy novel and then read about the character's day-to-day life where nothing happens except they go to school or work before there's any sign of fantasy whatsoever. Number 2, your readers don't know where the story's going. You need to leave clues along the way for your readers to follow. While you don't want to give away the twists or the endings to your story, they should have somewhat of an idea of where your story might be going. Whether it's your MC's goals that they know what they want, or the villain's goals, or even just small things that might be coming up next in a story. For instance, if you're reading Harry Potter, you don't know that at the end of the story, Voldemort's going to appear until a good ways into the story. But what we do know is that there's a magic school that Harry needs to be a part of, and something at some point is probably going to go down because of how different it is from his normal life. You're not giving away the ending up front, but what you are doing is creating intrigue to want to see what happens next. Leaving these little clues along the way definitely changes the way that your reader takes in the story. Whether it's how they pick up on certain cues, or the tension levels, or whether or not they think the bad guy is a serial killer or just the school bully. They definitely need to know what they're getting into. So by you setting expectations, your reader will know if they care about this story and want to continue. Number 3, your readers don't know why they should care about the outcome at all. Perhaps you've set up boring characters who your readers really don't care what happens to them. Or maybe there's a boring plot. You can have great characters, but if they're just sitting in a room not doing anything, your readers are not going to care about that. They need to care about the outcome of your story, whether it's plot-based, like saving the entire world, or character-based, where a couple of characters are getting together in a romance. Number 4, your characters aren't likable or interesting. Now, likable does not mean that your characters have to be morally good. They just have to be interesting and intriguing enough for your readers to want to continue with their story. For instance, if you guys have ever seen Once Upon a Time, let's look at the evil queen. In the beginning of the series, she is not a good person. She makes no morally good choices. She's evil, she's wicked, through and through. But we care about her character because she's likable, she's interesting, she has this backstory, and we actually care what happens to her. If all of your characters' personalities can be compared to a dry piece of toast, no one wants to read that story. Number 5, your book blurb was mainly just bait and your story didn't deliver on anything it promised. If you're promising your readers tensions, twists, suspense, and horror, and your story is about a trip to the beach where the worst thing that happens is someone gets a sunburn, then you have overpromised to your readers and they're not going to continue with the story. If they're signing up for one thing, you need to deliver on that and not take them in a completely different direction. Number 6, you don't provide enough questions or answers for your reader. Questions are what keeps your readers wanting more. They want the answers to their questions. Why is this happening? What's going to happen next? Is this character alive? All of these things are what make people want to keep turning the pages. Without questions, people are not going to stick around. And if you're not answering those questions along the way, people are going to feel cheated. They're going to feel like they invested their time in something and there's no reward for them. You can't just keep having question after question after question with no answers. Number 7, on the flip side, you provide too many questions or too many answers. While questions are good, you can't expect your readers to keep track of 100 different questions that are going on, and then in the next chapter give them 10 more questions to hold on to. Again, there needs to be some sort of reward for them investing their time, so you need to leave them little treats along the way. And if you're answering all of your questions up front, then no one's going to care to continue reading the story. Answering all the questions leaves the reader satisfied. So if they know all of the answers to all of the questions halfway through the book, why are they going to read the rest of the book? There's nothing keeping them there. Number 8, your story is not properly edited. Whether it's really bad grammar or punctuation or sentences that just don't make sense, no one wants that. If you have not properly edited your novel, you're going to lose most of your readers. Number 9, you're preaching to your readers. Unless your book's theme is specifically on a certain topic in which you're teaching your readers something and they know that beforehand, don't try to push your beliefs and values onto other people. Don't put it in their face and make them feel like they're getting a moral lesson or a lecture instead of just reading a novel. Number 10, you glorify or romanticize abuse. While you can obviously have dark and disturbing themes in your novel, there's dark fantasy and horror for a reason. Readers are sick and tired of seeing abuse and toxicity as something that should be sought out in a relationship. It's all in the way that you present the information to the reader. And number 11, your story is just too predictable. You followed a formula, and now after chapter 1, everyone knows every single thing that's going to happen along the way, and they know how it's going to end. Yes, most stories do follow structures and tropes, but you need to put your own spin on these things to keep your readers invested. You don't want your story to read like a math problem. Billionaire plus drop-dead gorgeous woman who has no idea how beautiful she is. We all know how that story is going to end. So unless you change that and the woman ends up murdering the guy in chapter 3, readers aren't really going to care about it because it's a formula. They know exactly how it happens. Well, yes, some readers do want to know the ending. For example, romance. Romance readers love to know that there's a happily ever after at the end of the story. But what they shouldn't know is every step to how to get there. So find a way to make these stories your own, because no one wants to read the exact same formula over and over again. So there you have it, the top reasons people will DNF your novel. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more bookish and writing related videos. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!